Okay, this video is going to show you how to take your design, and in this case I chose my Halloween design, and slice it using the Dremel slicer, or the Dremel DigiLab for the Dremel 3D printers. Alright, so this is a design I made last year, just for fun. It looks like it says boom, but really it says boo, and there's all these ghosts, including the O, or like the eyes of this ghost in the background. And it's a ring that goes around 2 fingers. So when it prints out, you can put it on 2 fingers, and then you can just have the most vicious bling in the universe. Anyhow, we're going to slice this using the Dremel DigiLab slicer. So the first thing I need to do is make this file into what's called a mesh file. How do you do that? Well, you right-click on the name up here at the top of the browser and say Save as Mesh. This window pops up, and we're going to convert, the format for this case is going to be an STL binary, and we'll just say OK. It's going to put it into my downloads, and it's going to be called Boring version 1. So that's where I'm looking for it after I save it. Now you should open up Dremel DigiLab, and you get a window that looks like this. And we're going to run through a lot of this stuff. If you were lucky enough to use the Dremels and get good at it in middle school, please still watch the video, because there might be 1 or 2 things that we'll go over in this video that maybe you didn't know already. The first thing, and this is the most basic, is which 3D printer are you going to use? We have 2 different ones in the lab. One's called a 3D40. Those are the silver ones with the silver face. And then the ones with the all black face are called 3D45s. And I would say they're about the same. I think the 3D45 gives you a couple extra, I don't know. The 3D40s have a nice bendable build plate. That can be an advantage. The 3D45s have a glass build plate. So you need to come up with a plan to remove your materials after you use it. But so you have to tell it at the start which printer you're using. So I think you go to Settings and Printer and just choose. Okay, I've got both of mine listed here. If yours isn't listed, you could say Add Printer and choose the printer here. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and do this one for the 3D, whatever it's on, 3D40. Okay, so that would be the one with the silver face. The next thing to do is add your model. So I would go to Open File over here and find my ring. And just say OK. And it looks like nothing's there. Well, something is there. It's just awfully, awfully small. So I'm going to go ahead and select my awfully, awfully small ring, and I'm going to scale it. And here's what you want to do for scaling. Make sure uniform scaling is on. This is in case you have a very, very small design like I did. I'm going to click this and then choose 2540. And what that is, it's a scaling factor between, I don't know, millimeters or something and inches or something. So now I've got my ring, and it looks like it's about the right size. But the orientation is really bad. I wouldn't want to print it in this orientation because too much stuff is floating out over space. So I'm going to change the orientation. I'm going to select the model, and then I'm going to choose Rotate. And I want it to lay flat. Well, that didn't do much. How about we choose Rotate, and we'll select the model, choose Rotate, and try to slap it down. What if we... and then grab this one and... I'm getting closer, but I'm not great, right? I'm doing all right, but I'm not perfect. So what if when we get to about here, then we click this lay flat business? Oh, and it just sticks it right down on the surface. So this would be the ideal printing orientation for this model. The scale's good, the rotation's good. I don't need to mirror anything. I don't need to move anything, so I'm feeling pretty good. Over here on the right, you have all these settings. PLA is the type of material we're using. Medium quality is fine. You want to make sure the infill is little. And then supports. Supports are debatable. I think I made this design so it really didn't need any supports. but your design might need lots of supports. So I think where you're seeing this red stuff, it's like suggesting that maybe you should have supports. But I'm going to go ahead and roll with no supports. Before I go ahead and slice it, I'm going to change the name. And this will help everyone a lot. So you could say your last name and then maybe Halloween. So if everybody's just leaving it on the D3, whatever the name of your file was, it's going to get very confusing as you have to look through flash drives and whatnot. Okay, so I've changed the name to Senavani Halloween. I'm going to say prepare, and it's slicing up my ring. And that works pretty quick. It's going to take 1 hour and 17 minutes. It's going to use the 4.3 I don't know what that is, meters of filament, 4.3 meters of filament, and it's going to weigh 12 grams. Okay. Then you're going to save the file locally. And mine's going onto my desktop. And once you save it, then you would put it onto a flash drive and take it over to the machine and plug it in and print it. You'll notice it's going to be a G code file, so a .G code. Okay. And that's about it. Remember, these settings are really important. Please don't go into custom settings and mess with this stuff. It usually is a flaming mess, and yeah. All right, so how to put a file into DigiLab and slice it up and save it, and then once it's saved, you put it onto a flash drive, take it over to the machine, plug it in, and print. Now, check this out. I know this video is kind of dragging on pretty long, but there's, a bunch of kids trying to print all at once. Now, we could all use our own printers, or maybe if you sit next to somebody you like, you can get both of your prints onto one printer and maybe save us a little time. Okay? Thank you.